welcome to the Chronicles of Yarnia, the podcast from Montclair's local yarn store. You have to say it first.
I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Amanda. Yeah, because I can't do it at first.
And we're coming to you today with our Rhinebeck vlog.
Yay!
Yay!
A special episode. Let's say the Chronicles of Yarnia comes out, releases every 2 weeks. On Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. and we bring you highlights of what we're working on, little tidbits, things around town sometimes, things in the knitting world, and updates on our life, things that are new in the store, and a prize for our viewers.
That's right. Every episode.
So, hope you tune into those regular episodes. The next one will come out next Saturday. But this is a little bit of a special episode because we had a very special weekend last weekend. We did.
We're actually taping on Tuesday, which is Thursday, our new regular taping day. So it's actually been a week since we headed up to the Rhinebeck area for a whole bunch of events and other fun activities together. So we're going to kind of recap some of that for you now and let you come along for the ride.
Yeah, we took a lot of video. So for those of you who have never been to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, it is one of the largest, I'd say, sheep fiber festival in the United States.
Certainly in the U.S., yeah.
And it's centered in the Hudson Valley at the Dutchess County Fairgrounds, which is near Rhinebeck, New York. And which is about a hour and a half on a nice day.
It's exactly 100 miles from here.
There you go.
So it's 90 minutes to 2 hours, most of the time. But the weekend of Rhinebeck, getting over the bridge alone can be an hour.
I think it'd be a little longer. Yeah. But like Kathleen said, our weekend started on Thursday.
It
when
did.
We headed up for a woolen affair.
For the preview party, which was really lovely. We, Catherine of Brooklyn General and her team throw a beautiful event. This year was much, much bigger than last year. I forget how many vendors they had last year, but this year...
the third year that the group has done sort of an event. The first year was really intimate.
Yeah.
Right? It was
and
more
you
of a
went
party.
to that one, right?
I did go. Chad and I went to that one, and Seisha. So that one was really a small event. It was more of a party. Then yarn vending. I think there were just like a couple of
There
vendors.
were like 4 or 5 vendors that year, right? Very few. Very, very few.
And then last year, really Amy and Catherine sort of hosted the first public woolen affair, which was very popular. And this year they moved it to Hutton Brickyards, which is a great location right on the Hudson. It's in Kingston. Kingston, that's right.
Yep. And it is the place where Woolen Folk originally was held as well, when it was kind of a positive and fun event.
All these sort of shift around every year. But I hope they go back to Hutton Brickyards because that was really a perfect venue. You can see some of the footage here. It's outdoors-ish, but definitely have like structures that you are, even in case of rain, you're definitely underneath structures.
Yeah, there are roofs, but you are right on the Hudson, and so it can be quite breezy. A lot of people especially at the Thursday evening event, because it ran from 4 to 7, and so by the time you were getting there, it wasn't quite getting dark yet, but it was the sun was not high in the sky anymore, and it was starting to get breezy. And it was chilly, but everyone was in their woolies.
Well, I did remember halfway up the Garden State Parkway.
No hat.
I remembered I left all my coats at home.
Your coats.
But I was like, you know what? Sweaters are going to be fine. It'll be fine. And it was fine. And I have an extra layer of insulation right now. So
there you go.
Just stayed warm all the time. But it was really lovely.
Yeah, it was such a nice event.
You were wearing your Rhinebeck sweater.
I was done in knit collage right behind us here in the honeysuckle colorway. Are we really? Wow. Could be.
And then I forget what I was wearing. Something warm and cozy.
Were you wearing your Felix that night?
Oh, yes, I think I was. I think I was
you
wearing
might
this.
have been. Yeah.
Which is pretty densely knit for a Felix, and it was cozy. It was fun.
Or was that your night with Stripes? No, Stripes was the next day.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
we brought, I brought a selection of things depending on the weather so that I'd have some options. I did wind up wearing kind of what I had planned for most of the days.
So for those of us who were at the preview party, we got a lot of the swag, like as part of our,
our ticket. Basically.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? And I have one over here too with nothing else in it. If you
good.
want me to dip it. Yeah. Yeah. So all the attendees on Thursday night got a lovely shopping bag with the Will & Affair logo. And inside there were 3 items. And if you bought these items separately, the value was over $100. So it was really a lovely swag bag. So the first thing is a giant tote. It is so big. And I did actually carry this on Friday.
Yeah.
With so many things in it.
Really
it is
big.
I was joking. You could put a small child in there. You really could. You could put a toddler in there easily.
You really could.
You could carry your toddler around. So that was the first thing, and then there were 2 other Will & Affair branded items as well. One, a journal, My Will & Affairs, which is really sweet. Beautifully done. I mean, they really do a great job. I love their logo. It's so fun with the sheep and the flowers.
Yes.
And the birds.
It's very nice.
And then the third item is a set of Will & Affair stitch markers, which were, custom done for the event. I'm sure you'll put in a closer picture of all these guys.
Yes,
Right.
I will. It was really a nice little gift. And everybody was, I think, really happy with it.
Mm-hmm. And in fact, because...
and I feel like Amy has some...
Yes, with the yellow.
Impact.
Yep. I could even throw that on this side. So one thing I think we can mention is that in our next episode, as you can tell, Jen is not here with us. And the reason she's not here with us today is that she was not able to come to Rhinebeck weekend, even though that had been the plan all along. She came down with something, a couple of days before we were headed up. And we were so sad she couldn't join us. She was even sadder, obviously, because it is a weekend that we look forward to all year long to get to spend together and, see lots of fiber folks. And it was just so sad that she had to miss it. But so we gave her swag bag. We also had one more ticket for
Chad to come.
But he was home with the kids.
He was home with the kids.
So one lucky winner next week is basically going to get Chad's swag.
Chad's bag! Yeah.
Because Chad doesn't really need all of this. You got one.
We don't need 2 in our house. So that's going to be our
Chad's
giveaway next week on our regular episode of Chronicles of Yarnia. So I did bring some of the things that I picked up at a Will & Affair.
Great.
The first is I got a new bag by Krista Jekyll.
Yes.
I also have a video of her booth. So Krista, she does hand wood blocking of project bags. They are so cute. I love them. And this one was on the back wall of her booth when I was walking through, and it just called my name with the oranges and the pinks and the peaches.
It's so pretty.
And the yellows. Yeah. So this came home with me. I love it so much. That was not on my shopping plan, but I loved it. I'm super happy with it. The other thing that I picked up is this crazy unicorn sparkle skein of Lily Loops. So Lily Loops is a hand dyer who is in Staten Island, North Shore of New York City. Her booth is always so shiny and happy.
Yeah, and she is so sweet. I had not met her in person before. She is lovely. She really is.
Absolutely lovely.
And we're going to work on having her here for Trunk Show. We're all, looking forward to that and planning that. So.
So I did grab a skein of that. So as we're prepping for a Trunk Show with Lily Loops, I can be working on this and show you guys a little bit of a preview.
And so you. I love it.
Yeah. Actually, Abby and I were looking at it. She might crochet our sample. Because there are some knit collage samples that have just crochet square scarves.
Yes.
But this is the center and
that would
the
be
white
so pretty. Yeah.
as the outside.
Kind of framing it.
That I think would be really nice for Abby for a crochet project. So
beautiful.
I will still bring in the progress of it. But I might let her do a little crochet.
Very nice.
Now that she's officially part of Team Yarnia.
Yeah.
So, and the third thing that I got, actually I got 4 things. I got these cookies. I don't have a video of the vendor. I'm going to bring them up because they're super cute.
They're so beautiful.
So this is by Sweet Botanical Bakes. And I think everybody who saw these cookies at a Woolen Affair had to take some home. I talked to our friend Dory, who also brought home 4 boxes of these cookies. But they're shortbread. She has all different flavors of shortbread. But on these, on this garden party and on some other ones, she presses flowers, edible flowers, and puts them on the cookies, and they're just beautiful.
They're so beautiful. They really are.
So they really are like little works of art. This is the last box that's left, and now everybody at my house is ready to eat it. I've been holding off till today so I could show you guys.
That's funny.
And then the last thing, one thing that I love when we go to any of these events is to shop for Christmas.
Right.
Because not only do we have, are there like yarn vendors there and things that I'm interested for my craft, but there's also all sorts of things like cookies. And there was a hat vendor, Carol Frechette Hats. She does hand-felted hats as well as hats out of natural wool. And my dad wears a driving hat like all the time, and she had some really cute little driving hats.
That's so great, yeah.
So, yay, my dad doesn't watch this podcast. And Mom, if you're watching it, don't show this part to Dad. That's what he's going to get for Christmas.
Cool. No, I love that. That's so good. Yeah.
So, it's okay.
And actually, so Haley and Seisha wound up going back to a Woolen Affair the main day on Friday. Neither Amanda nor I did that, but when Haley went back, there was a bag that I had eyed at the Yarn and Whiskey booth, a project bag that I just couldn't get it out of my head. It was, I mean, we've talked about this before on the podcast. I conservatively, I think my estimate is that I have 70 project bags.
It's a curated collection.
It is quite the curated collection. But since I just moved and a lot of my stuff is still not so much in boxes, but in tubs. I have not found the tub with all of the empty project bags yet.
So you have none?
And so I have none that are like not occupied. I've been having to like bump things from one bag to another as I start new projects. And so I said, all right, this is a rationale for getting one of these bags. So
definitely.
We'll put a picture in here. Haley grabbed this beautiful bag from Yarn and Whiskey for me when she went back.
And she also designs all of her fabrics.
Yes,
so they're not like
you're not going to see them anywhere else.
Yeah, but she designs all of her fabrics, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yay! So after a Woolen Affair, Kathleen and Haley and me, we were all hungry. And Seisha, yes, I meant Seisha and not me, but also me. We were all hungry.
There were some nice nibbles actually at a Woolen Affair.
They were really good.
They were good,
but there was not dinner there.
No, it was definitely appetizers.
Yeah,
which was fine. It was nice. You know, it was nice that it was included.
Had a really good.
I loved that. Yes, I'll give you a picture of that too. So they had some canned cocktails, and I said the one that I had was better than some cocktails I've had at some cocktail bars. It was delicious.
So
I did look it up. I forget what
Kathleen's new favorite. Cocktail.
But the thing is, no one in New Jersey carries it, and I'm so mad that I didn't think to actually, buy, some up there, because it's from the Buffalo area. I know it's a blue can. I'm looking for, where is it?
That's okay.
Here it is. Here it is.
Perfect.
It is Southern Tier Distilling Company Whiskey Mule. It was delicious. If you can get it, I highly suggest, because I'm not a fan of bourbon. Like, everybody in the world seems to like bourbon IPAs. I don't care for either one.
Yeah.
I prefer, like rye whiskey or Scotch or Irish whiskey, but whatever. And this is just like regular American whiskey, and it was delicious.
Nice.
So I'm gonna, a few places around here carry some of their other lines, and I'm gonna, maybe I'll talk to the folks down the street at Townhouse and see if they would bring in some of it if they carry it.
Yeah.
Anyway, highly recommend. It was so, I mean, everybody that I was walking around with my cup and everyone that I talked to, I'm like, this is so good.
Yeah.
And then we did head out to dinner.
We went to dinner. Seisha recommended going to Santa Fe in Kingston, which is a Tex-Mex place. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, the food was so good.
It was so good. And she had been to, they have a location in Tivoli on the other side of the river, like north of Rhinebeck. So she knew of it from that. yeah, we were all so happy with the choice. Yeah. It was delicious.
The service was great.
Yeah, our server was amazing.
Delicious.
She was so sweet and warm, and yeah, it was really just a really nice evening, nice dinner.
So that was great. A great wind down for the night. Then we went back to our place and had a very good night's sleep. I have to say,
we did. I need to write to them and ask what those mattresses were. Amanda and I were both commenting it was the best sleep we'd had in like weeks.
I
Weeks.
slept 7 hours straight, which I have not done in a very long time.
Yeah,
it feels like.
It was funny. The first night I didn't sleep as well, but the second night I probably slept for 7 hours. Yeah, straight.
Great.
It was amazing.
So we woke up on Friday, relatively well rested.
Yes,
for even more restful adventures.
That's true. And we liked the house that we rented, but the one thing about it, and I don't know if we've told folks, we, usually for Rhinebeck, you rent your house, you figure out where you want to be and you rent your house, book it a year in advance because a lot of places go.
In other words, you might want to pause this now.
If you're planning on going and go look.
Get your Airbnb. Yeah. Because they do sell out.
Yeah. The best ones definitely fill up fast. So, and even last year, we had thought about getting the same house that we were in, that time. And I literally, the Monday after Rhinebeck, I sat at my desk and I looked, and it was the house that we had rented was already booked. Probably somebody else had it the year before, and we scooped it up for them the prior year. So they were on it.
I think I reserved it while you guys were at Rhinebeck the year before. And I was home with FOMO.
So yeah, go ahead and get on that. So we had a house. It looked really nice, actually. I was looking forward to staying there, and it was pretty close to the house that we had the prior year. Which was like a mile from the thruway. The location for that one was great.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the ideal house. It was very nice, but the location could not be beat.
Yeah.
For going to things in Saugerties, in Kingston, being on both sides of the river. So about, 2 months ago now, I got a message from Airbnb saying, gee, guess what? The house that you're going to rent, it's been sold, and it's no longer available for rentals. And I was like, excuse me?
And now you have nothing.
And now you have nowhere to stay. So, we got on and looked at a bunch of things and found another house in Saugerties, which is where we had stayed. And, it met all our needs. It was actually, maybe we can put in a couple of pictures. It was really lovely.
It was a beautiful house.
It was a beautiful house.
On a little lake. Had a
little
garden
pond, yeah.
That made us all jealous.
It had a pool, it had a hot tub. It slept, I don't know, like 9 or 10, and there only wound up being 4 of us there. But the problem is, it was like 7 miles outside of Saugerties, and it was like 7 miles of windy little country roads. So it
almost to Woodstock.
Yeah, it was really between Saugerties, town center and Woodstock. And it added at least 20 minutes to any journey that you were making.
Anywhere you wanted to go was 35 minutes away with no traffic.
Well, it would say 35, but then when you'd actually drive it would wind up being more like 45.
Right.
It definitely cut down on the number of spontaneous things that we did in a way. Yeah. It was and like coming back at night.
And if you're not familiar with the roads, at night.
Oh yeah, we had some roads, like no lines down the middle, no nothing.
Yeah. It's pretty dark out there.
It added to the adventure.
It's great if you want to look at the stars.
We did get to see some stars. That was nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. But so that is a helpful tip if you're interested in going to New York Sheep and Wool or the surrounding events. Get your location early if you plan on staying overnight.
Yeah, for sure.
But so this year I'd say for the last 3 years, our strategy has been go see all the Yarny things as much as possible.
Right.
So I think like 2 years ago, I went to 3 events in one afternoon, like starting at 10 to 12.
Yeah.
1 to 3, and then 4 to 6, like back to back to back.
Yeah. And I usually only do 2, but even then it's like, it's fun, but even if you do the same fun thing every time, it kind of loses a little bit of the fun.
Well, and you end up at the end of the day, like seeing so much. It's great because you see so many of your friends, meet so many new friends, but like you're physically exhausted at the end of the day.
Yeah, you're just looking at a million things. Yeah. And we kind of wanted this to be a little bit of a relaxing weekend. We've all, had
a lot going on this year.
Tough year. And so Amanda had this lovely plan
I was like, hey, let's have a girls' weekend this year. So we actually curated a lot of activities that if you are interested in going to Yarnia events, but also want to have a nice relaxing weekend, do some non-Yarny things. Maybe you have your spouse or, other non-fiber friends, friends who are not fiber as much, but are willing to go with you to 1 or 2 events. There's so much else in the Hudson Valley that is amazing to do. So the first thing we did was on Friday morning, we went to Waterside Spa right on the Hudson, and enjoyed a whole spa morning.
It was lovely. It was so nice. It was really great.
Yeah. So you had a massage.
I did. I had a nice back and neck massage. It was lovely.
Yeah. Haley enjoyed. They have 2 hot tubs. So
one of them quite large. One of them is kind of like a double at least.
Yep. So Haley enjoyed the hot tub. I have some footage of that here and how they're right on the Hudson. They've got a sauna with a cold plunge, and then I obviously can't do like face down on a
those things.
Massage table.
Right.
I mean, I could get a prenatal massage. I actually do have like a subscription for a massage service here, and I get prenatal massage like once a month. But I was like, you know what? It's not as great as a good deep tissue massage. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do yoga. So they had a big exercise studio as well. So I went up there, did 30 minutes of my yoga practice and got really nice and stretched out and relaxed. And then, Kathleen and I sat by the window and
that was so lovely. Yeah.
Inside and just knitted for like 40 minutes. I think you went through your emails.
Yeah, well, it was a business day, so I did have to, and there was kind of a lot going on. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also Friday is the day that a lot of folks on their way up to New York Sheep and Wool stop by Yarnia because we're right by, we're very, very near the Garden State Parkway, right? Like literally 5 minutes. You get off exit 151, come straight down the street and you're at Yarnia.
Yep, right out. Watch on Avenue.
So Friday does tend to be a busy day in the store.
And Ellie was here solo, actually. She held down the fort because, she was the one person that was available. We try not to do that, and it was, it wasn't a crazy busy day here, but we appreciated her doing that.
Yay, thank you, Ellie. Yay, so, and then one other thing, Waterside Spa is associated with Black Barn, which is a nice hotel in Saugerties, and you can order lunch there. We didn't order lunch there, but you can have lunch ordered there, and they'll bring it from Black Barn, the hotel and restaurant, to the spa. You can sit outside in their lovely
It was a little
area.
I think one reason we didn't do it is it was a little chilly that day right on the water.
It was a little chilly.
And breezy. Yeah.
But I found in looking that Black Barn actually has a restaurant in New York City too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In Nomad. Yeah, so if you love that sheep to table.
Farm to table.
Farm to table vibe.
Okay, cool. Yeah, nice.
And they source a lot of their ingredients, both that they use at their restaurant in the Hudson Valley, as well as the ones that they have down in New York City from the Hudson Valley area. So if you love that kind of cuisine, definitely check out Black Barn, whether you're going to New York City or up to the Hudson Valley.
I will put that on my list.
I know, right? And
all right.
Yeah, so we went back to Saugerties after our relaxing time at Waterside Spa and had lunch at the Dutch,
which was delicious. Everybody really enjoyed their meal. There are a lot of nice little restaurants there. Partition Street is one, right? That's got a bunch, and we've been to Miss Lucy's before. We looked at a couple of places, and there are so many people in town for that weekend. People going to Cake, coming from Cake, going to Indy. It just, there's a lot right there. And so, so basically we just kept kind of moving on to the next place so that we could find some place where you could kind of sit down right away and not wait a half hour. Yeah. And we were so happy we happened into the Dutch.
Yep. So the Dutch is, I would say, they have a great bar area too. A lot of beers on tap, a lot of local beers, and then I'd say
some
great
ciders too, I believe.
Elevated bar food. So the wings were fantastic, right? We all had Really good,
I
really
got
good
shrimp and
dishes.
grits. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
delish.
had some spetzel and
the
pork
schnitzel. Mhm.
Yeah, so
And I forget what Haley had. What did she have?
I don't remember. Oh, chicken sandwich, the crispy chicken sandwich.
Yes, probably.
Yeah, so that's I have a little video of all that, and that was a great lunch. We left there, and actually, right next door is an amazing thrift store with
that's
great
right.
prices.
Yeah.
I think I got perhaps my greatest find of the weekend,
That's true.
which was Charlie's Halloween costume. He will now be a creeper from Minecraft, and it was in the window, $2 for a Halloween costume.
Pretty amazing.
Amazing!
Where else are you ever going to find that, right?
But there were a lot of people in that little thrift store. It was hopping, and they were, really good, like real thrift store prices.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have like vintage stores where you're like, this is approaching the original price.
True.
At Saks or something like that. But yeah, so that was a very fun, serendipitous find. We went around the corner, easy to walk there from the Dutch. Was the Perfect Blend.
Yes.
Which is a great little yarn store in Saugerties.
And they definitely do an amazing business that whole weekend, again, because there are so many, knitters and crocheters, fiber folks in the area. We ran into and spent some time with Antonia, probably, one of our favorite reps, who was so lovely to see her there. She reps Woolfolk, they carry Woolfolk like we do, and Rowan, and so we caught up with her. We haven't seen her in a little bit.
Yeah, it was really nice. Lovely to catch up with her. And I got a couple things from Perfect Blend.
All right.
Not yarn, although they have a lot of lovely yarn, but I got these doodle decks by Pacific Knit Co. So what these are, I actually was introduced to Pacific Knit Co. through Natalie's club membership. We worked with the designer of these. But what it is each deck has 52 cards.
Oh, have fun.
Right? And each card has a colorwork motif on it. And you can sort of like design your own cowl, design your own sweater by putting the cards in order, like the order that you're interested in, and it has all sorts of things. This is the spring deck. It has a lot of flowers, a lot of hearts, as well as some just
little
decorative, geometric ones. I got the winter deck, which has snowflakes and mugs of hot chocolate and things like that.
Yeah. I remember she did an autumn cowl, right? It was with that deck.
They had
so cute. Yeah,
6 or 7 different options. I think she also has a Rhinebeck deck.
Wow, that makes sense. Yeah.
But and then I got the basic doodle deck, which has I'd say more traditional Scandinavian geometric designs, all sorts of filler patterns. So I think these will be fun. I know Beth wants a colorwork vest, so it might be, rather than just going with a pattern, that already exists.
Have a pattern as your kind of your palette, and then add your own designs on it.
See what she likes. Yeah, so I thought that was fun. And the Perfect Blend is a yarn shop. They are also a tea shop.
That's right. Yeah.
So they had samples of their tea in the back. I had one TPB tea. TPB. And I was like, what does TPB stand for? And they're like, the Perfect Blend. I was like, oh, of course it does. But one of the things they also had on their shelves was this ginger elixir, this classic ginger elixir.
Oh, wow.
So I brought home, which you can have just as a, what do you call it? A digestive, or use it mixed in a drink. And I'm just very much feeling ginger right now, so I feel like this would be amazing, and a little bit of apple cider.
You can make a little mocktail.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
Or Chad can make a real cocktail. So yeah, I brought some of that home. I had to keep him from opening that.
Again, to show it today.
Show it today. Yay. So that was our visit to a Perfect Blend.
And the Saugerties area.
Yep.
So one thing, because our house was so far away, we had all these. Amanda had put together a great kind of schedule of options for us to do things, but our the distance really cut down our time on places that we could go. And we did have evening plans to get together with our team member Kim and her whole group of knitting friends for what is now. Well, next year will be the annual.
Beck Gala. Yeah, just a little bit on the places we didn't go. We also didn't go because some of them were alcohol related, and Haley and I aren't drinking.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Yeah,
would just be Kathleen drinking alone.
That would be kind of silly and sad. Yeah, but if Jen and I had both been there, I mean, well, actually, at the Dutch, you guys both had really nice mocktails,
We
right?
did have the Dutch had amazing mocktails. They were very good.
I don't think I did get a drink. Drink.
No, you had the other mocktail.
I had the other mocktail, exactly. Yeah, sometimes a mocktail. I don't know. I don't, unless it really is a day of not doing anything, I actually don't like drinking in the day. I feel like I knew we were going to go and, be hanging out in the evening, and it's like, yeah, I'll go with the mocktail as well. Yeah,
so the places I found, for those of you who are looking to go out and enjoy some local wineries, breweries, or cideries, we didn't go, but maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future,
to Never Still Winery. So that's here. The Left Bank Cidery, which is, not surprisingly, on the water, on the left side of the Hudson River. And then Lasting Joy Brewery, which distills their own beers. And they're all locally produced, locally sourced, and those all sounded really fun, and a diverse mix of fun things to go to. We also didn't go to Opus 40 Sculpture Park, which I really wanted to go to.
Yeah.
I'll put some pictures in here of Opus 40. They actually had their annual gala on Saturday. So it was my plan to leave Rhinebeck and then go check that out. But they were closed to the public after 2 p.m. Because they were preparing for their annual gala. But that actually would have been a really fun day to sort of go to
Fiber Festival
and get a little bit dressed up, and then go to a gala for a good cause in the evening. But yeah, so those might be in future plans, but I definitely wanted to mention them in case anybody is, like I said, looking to mix in some non-fiber things.
Yeah.
Those are some really good options up there. So about that gala, yay! Kathleen and Haley brought the food treat that was the most anticipated.
Yes,
of the gala.
So Kim has her knitting friends, here visiting her in Montclair once or twice a year, and they've all gotten to know the pie store down the street from us that has the most amazing key lime pie. So knowing that they're all fans of that, we picked up a big key lime pie. We stopped at Little Daisy, one of our other favorite places in town, because they're a very allergy aware group. They had some people like Haley who can't do nuts, and so we had a nice little selection of desserts. That was really fun. But first we all sat and chatted and had some pizza and had some appetizers and just really had a lovely evening. Yeah, and their group is so fun. They always do coordinating outfits. So they pick a theme, and this year's theme was black and white. And because we had been, or actually we hosted the Met Gala at our place the year before. Kim let us know what the theme was and everything, and I'm like, sure, I'll play along. Yes, and I did make I made black and white and gold. And I don't have a turtleneck to perfectly match that. I need to look for that. But I finished this sweater, the anemone cardigan. I steeked it Wednesday night, and we drove up Thursday morning.
Perfect. There you go.
Just in time knitting. I forget what. Oh well, Haley wore gray, and you did too. You wore this to the Met Gala,
but I took the picture. Of the group, so I didn't have a.
So Amanda did get this fun shot of everyone who wore black and white in the evening to the Met Gala. Eva Christina Knits had her racket. She's modeling her cardigan version here. The pullover is out now. Cardigan is going into testing, and I am planning to test it. I have the yarn already. In black and white cashmere merino from La Bien Aimée. And then Amy Baldwin, who's the designer for the brick and mortar pullover and cardigan, is wearing her brick and mortar in black and white here. So it was really fun to get to see everyone. And as Amanda said, so many talented knitters in the group. Everyone wore, picked a different pattern, and also, so the evening thing is kind of the precursor of them all wearing it during the day and running back the next day. Yep. So that was really fun. They got some great shots in the daytime.
So that was amazing. And so then the next day was the big event.
Was actually New York Sheep and Wool. So here we are. It's day 3 of our weekend, but day 1 of New York Sheep and Wool. And because we had been out a little late the night before and, had our long drive, we didn't get the earliest start. But we got to the fairgrounds in time for, plenty of Yarnia activities.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you've never been to New York Sheep and Wool, it is a full event. There are, I don't know, 8 to 10 barns full of
easily.
yarn and fiber vendors.
And everything related to that, pottery yarn bowls, and then the people that make the pottery yarn bowls also make mugs and things, and sometimes yarny themed.
Buttons and
lots of button vendors, different kits, Hello Bargello.
Yep.
Because Jen wasn't able to be there. I know how much she loves Hello Bargello. I did pick her up a little kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just to give her a little Rhinebeck sunshine.
Okay. Yeah. And then all sorts of things. And so there are also fleeces.
Yes.
Right? Everything from like farms that have their fleeces there to you can buy like just shorn fleeces. They have them on tables. I have some video of that here. And they're all graded, so you can sort of know what you're getting. If you want to get a dirty fleece, take it home, scour it, do all the shing. Wow. You can do everything and then spin it and knit a sweater. It's really the place to go for all the sheep to sweater activities.
For sure.
Also, they have an auction of all sorts of things. In fact, there were so many spinning wheels for auction, and I heard that a matchless sold for $600, which is an extremely good price. There was another wheel that was a little bit of a great deal at $100. So if you're looking to get into spinning, which wheels can be expensive, looms can be expensive, right? Looking for a used one at the auction, sort of knowing your price in your head and attending the auction. That's I think at 11 a.m., but it was still going on by the time I got there.
For a while. Yeah.
Yeah. They also have items like sewing kits, like people's old sewing kits that are there that are full. It's like you can look and see what the lots are and sort of eyeball. You can't go through it in detail, but you can see what's there. People bring their yarn stashes for auction.
Wow,
So there's all sorts of, fiber-related tools and
I didn't know that
materials.
about the sewing kits and the yarn stashes. I mean, I've seen, the wheels and the looms and things. But
there were multiple sewing machines for sale, too.
Interesting.
Yeah, for auction. So
I already have 3.
I know. I have 2. But, it is something to think, hey, if I have something in my house that's just sitting there and not, I'm not
I wonder how you get it into the auction. I wonder how, and what percentage. I mean, the auctioneer's got to get something for it. But
I'm sure the information is on NewYorkSheepandWool.com.
That's true.
Or it's sheepandwool.com for the New York Sheep and Wool Festival. So that was really, I saw that for a little bit, and then I went over to the sheep barns because I love going through all
they're
the
so
animals.
Fun. Yeah.
Of course, at New York Sheep and Wool Festival, you can see all sorts of sheep. Different breeds. You can really see sort of on the animals how the different fibers are, and all of the shepherds are there preparing their animals for competition. So you'll have the shepherds who are who are grooming their sheep outside.
Just like a dog show. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they're making sure every bit of dirt and hay
debris
and
stuff is off of them. Yeah.
Is washed off of them so that they're just perfect for the judges. So then they have the competitions. I was there when they were having the little goat competitions.
Oh, fun.
So you can see here how they have them just like in dog show confirmation, right? They walk out and back, and then the judges put them in order from 1st through 6th prize. And the judges really give a lot of good information about the breeds and what makes a better,
what's a better example
of the breed. Yeah. So if you're interested in that part of farming sheep, or goats, or, any of that alpacas and llamas too, I think. So, check and see when those competition shows are, because they're really interesting to learn more about fiber and what makes a good animal, and fiber animal. So,
Cool.
So those are there.
There's always a parade, too, of the llamas and alpacas and everything, and that is pretty early on in the day. I think, well, early for us, it was about 11 as well.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we did not see that this year, but I caught it on somebody's video, and it just brings a smile to your face. It's so fun to see them all being paraded.
And then, of course, there is all the yarn and fiber.
Yes,
I only got one yarn thing while I was there. I got my Miss Babs.
Yay.
So, which this is actually, Miss Babs is a hand dyer in Tennessee, and is always very popular at the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, and she dyes a special color each year for New York Sheep and Wool Festival. This year she had 2.
Yeah.
So this
One
is
was Catskills Hike, I think.
Yep, and this one is Wildcat. So the other one was a little more orangey red.
This red, yeah.
Yeah, this one's a little beigey with just pops. But I think this is going to make a great pair of socks for Chad. So you'll see this more in the podcast, normal podcast.
And I also got a skein from Bumblebee Acres, actually, to make socks for Gene, because he's really been wearing his hand knit socks virtually every day. So he needs some more. So I'll probably have Haley crank that into a tube and do my heels, toes, and cuffs. Since he seems like happy with the way those fit, once he's happy, it's so quick. I can bang out a pair of socks in a week with that method. So
my cranked tubes have not fared so well with Chad's feet. I mean, sometimes I think maybe a 72 stitch tube would work better.
Yeah, we should try it. We should try that.
But I'm gonna knit him. I'm gonna hand knit him that pair because I just want to make sure. I know that the ones that I hand knit fit him super well. And it's been a while since I knit a Helen Stewart pattern, so there you go. It's coming soon. So just a few more bits from our Rhinebeck, our New York Sheep and Wool event, right? The one of the classic Rhinebeck activities is meeting friends on the hill.
Yes, absolutely.
So me, Kathleen, Haley, Sasha were hanging out on the hill at Rhinebeck for our New York Sheep and Wool for about 45 minutes. I think. Yeah.
On Saturday, around after 2, we saw Andrew Mowry's giant group picture for Ooey Gooey, which was it is amazing. Every year, it's like another few hundred people participating.
So every year in August, if you're interested in being part of a huge group activity, Andrea Mowry releases a sweater pattern, and for anybody who knits it, you can meet on the hill at a time that she will announce promptly.
And it usually is 2 p.m. The last couple of years at least, it's been, the meeting has been announced or the photo's been announced for 2 p.m.
But you can see how huge it is.
It is something.
Well over 100, maybe 200 people.
Oh, I think 300 or 400.
Wow.
I mean, I feel like it's been in the hundreds for a while, but this year, easily 400 people, I would say.
Well, I think this honestly was a more accessible pattern for knitters of various, all
various skill levels. Yeah. A lot of it was just stockinette. I mean, there's color work at the yoke.
But it wasn't challenged. It wasn't like crazy color work.
No. And it's cute. It's a really cute sweater. It's a cute pattern. We almost had a sample knit here for this that I was going to wear, except I couldn't find anyone. I had too many things on my needles already, and I couldn't find anyone who was willing to do it in time. So that's one thing, and then we saw a lot of our friends, and also that we missed a lot of people. I mean, there were so many people that I knew were there that we didn't wind up running into. Like a lot of our knit nighters from Wednesday in person.
Oh right,
and I knew what some of them were wearing. Like I'd see it on Instagram, and we just never wound up meeting up. And I didn't know. I know Jonna of Kim and Jonna lives in Texas now, so she's not necessarily up here every time. But Kim was there apparently, but I never saw her.
Oh.
And I only saw it because she was in, somebody's picture on Instagram. We never saw Kevin and Ray.
Right.
Those at the Ready. I don't know. There just were a lot of people that we wound up not running into. But I think literally it was because one thing we didn't really talk about is how crowded it was on Saturday.
So crowded.
I mean, if you were a first time attendee, and you're not a big fan of crowds, Sunday is always the better day to go than Saturday.
Yep.
But honestly, and I'll give you some video, Amanda, even Sunday was pretty, I mean, it was way calmer than Saturday, but it was busy. I feel like the Sunday was as busy as one of the like COVID Saturdays. It
Wow.
really was. It was pretty busy.
Yeah, but I will say you could not have special ordered weather.
Better weather. Oh my goodness.
Better than what was there.
It was sweater weather. It was perfect sweater weather. It was like low 60s, so you could be wearing your woolies.
Sunny,
but not and breezy. Like sunny and breezy. So like you might be a little warm if you were in the sun for a while, but yeah, and
it was just perfect.
It was amazing. Yeah, on Saturday when I did wear my Rhinebeck sweater, aka my Cowardly Lion sweater, that one I got a little warm for, when I was standing too long in the sun in one place.
Yeah.
But I wore this on Sunday and I was fine all day. I never,
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then we did take a little video of the art. This is the art for 2025.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, so
which
cute.
is really cute. I'll bring it up so you can see it a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I got a project bag.
I got that same project bag, and I got a T-shirt. I do tend to wear the T-shirt every year.
So each year has an art theme, and they put it on big project bags, little project bags, T-shirts, sweatshirts, all the things, pins, stickers, everything you could want.
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend pre-ordering, like we mentioned on the regular podcast. Sometime around early September, they open up the pre-orders, and the line for if you didn't pre-order, I heard was, you could see it.
It was hours long.
Hours long.
It was. It went out from the barn and, whatever, yeah.
So, highly recommend pre-orders.
Weirdly, this year, and you and I waited together in this line, even the pre-order pickup, we got to chat with some really nice folks. Like, that is the one thing. Even if you're waiting in a line at New York Sheep and Wool, you're there with other people who love the same things you do.
Yeah.
So,
but I'll take a 25-minute wait for my pre-order over a multiple hour wait.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And, so that was, but during the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, you can vote for the art for the next year.
Yes.
So we went to check out all the possible art for 2026 and put in our vote. I don't know if they've announced it yet. I did check 2 days ago if they had announced it and it wasn't out yet.
I don't think they announced it till like January, but they do close voting. Because I think last year I went to vote on the Sunday and voting was already closed.
Wow.
Like they,
you have to be there if you want to vote, basically.
And it was interesting. I don't know whether they now get so many submissions that they have like a committee kind of narrow it down to 10. Because I feel like last year there were over 20 designs, and it was really, and I think last year may have been ranked choice voting, which in general I am a fan of, but 20 things, trying to say which of 20 things, which is my favorite, which is my second favorite, was a lot. This year there were only 10 designs.
Yes.
Which was,
and you just voted yes, no on each of them.
Yeah, which I wish they had done ranked choice, because with 10 you can say, yes, this is my favorite of these 10. Like, I think most people can hold 10 things in their head.
Yes.
But 20 was just too much. And a lot of times if you just give people a yes, no, most people are going to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
So it's not, it'll be
said yes to half.
It'll be interesting to see. I was very picky. I only said yes to 3. Well, logo person, it's like, that's kind of my thing, right? Yeah. So,
And then Kathleen and I both got Brussels sprouts.
Yes, yum. They were so good. Actually, Haley and I got them first thing on Sunday. Like, we got in and we're like, the line is short. Actually, she went to get lemonade, which we had gotten the day before also, and then I went to get the Brussels sprouts. We met at a table. Our team member Ellie met up with us for a little bit.
So that is a thing also at New York Sheep and Wool, is the food is pretty good.
Yes, definitely. And there definitely are things that, people look forward to every year. But the lines on Saturday were absolutely insane.
They were crazy.
They really
as
were.
I was leaving later in the day, the Brussels sprout line was pretty short. So the Brussels sprouts, if you like Brussels sprouts, these are amazing.
Yeah.
Because they are fried.
Yeah.
Right? They're sliced and fried, so they're super crispy, and they've got like a garlic aioli Parmesan drizzle on top.
Yeah. So good. So good. Yeah.
So I was I'm probably not going to stand in line for an hour for them, but I will definitely stand in line for
15 minutes, 15 minutes, yeah.
So, worth it. And was there anything else on Sunday? That was the end of my day on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. So Sunday, Amanda headed out, and Seisha actually headed out Sunday morning. So Amanda headed out Saturday evening, Seisha headed out Sunday morning. Haley and I finished packing up the house and went back on Sunday, and we were able to park in a really great spot. It's so funny. I hate the giant parking lot because I always feel like we're never going to find our car. It's so hard because, there are posts with letters and things, but it is such a giant parking lot. And I tend to like, parking lot that's close to the town of Rhinebeck better.
Right.
But we couldn't, it was full, I guess, when we got there on Saturday. But Haley and I said, all right, let's try it again on Sunday. And we got in.
Oh,
we got
nice.
into the
Perfect.
little parking lot. And
On Mulberry Hill or whatever?
yeah, Mulberry Street. It's probably not a shorter walk from the other parking lot, but it's just like, it is easy to tell where you are. So
Yeah.
if it feels shorter, it's like, I think it's just that I know at the end of the day, I'm not going to be wandering for an hour looking for my car.
I did. So I parked like way out because we got there late on Saturday, out by K, which
Case for Kathleen. Yeah.
Yes. And as I was walking out, like there was one point I was walking and my sciatica just like shot through my hip.
Oh no.
I was like,
oh no.
oh. And of course, right then, there's a friend of Yarnia in the car right next to me. And it's like, Amanda,
are you okay?
And I was like, yes. So then I just like let myself recover and stopped and chatted for a little bit.
Oh boy.
And then proceeded to my car. But yeah, these are the things you do.
Yeah. So Sunday it was still pretty busy, but definitely like half or less of the volume of Saturday.
Yeah.
And Haley and I, we got our pretzels. We kind of knew which vendors we wanted to hit and everything, and we knew that there was a meetup. So did we put in the black and white meetup picture for Saturday? Okay, good. So there was also a meetup on Sunday for Amy Baldwin, the Knitting Friends, brick and mortar sweater, which was so fun, and none of us made them. But
we did have a knit along here at Yarnia, or a class.
Yeah, Kim taught a class on it, and a bunch of people, like between the friend group and students and everything, a bunch of people came, and Haley was the photographer for that little group on the hill. It was really fun. So it was kind of, I think it was 1:00 on the hill. The same hill, where the Andrew Mowry photo was the day before and the meetups are and everything. So that was really nice to get to see that whole group in their brick and mortars. It's
such a great sweater.
Yeah, it's really fun. And the pullover is out. I think the cardigan version is still in testing potentially, but out very soon. Yeah. So I know some of the folks,
cardigans and brick and mortar cardigans are coming soon.
Yeah.
So if you love those styles, be sure to follow them on Ravelry
and Instagram.
Instagram.
Eva Christina Knits, and
I'll put everybody's Instagram below.
I don't know if Amy has a separate. We'll have to look that up. I think she's just under the Knitting Friend.
Cool.
We'll find out. So I did a little video on Sunday just showing kind of how busy it was, and then it was time even for Haley and me, the last of the group, to head home. So we had I forget exactly what time we left, but we made decent time to the bridge and over the bridge, but it's also like leaving that area, so many, way beyond the fiber community.
Oh, totally.
So many people who were up in that area for the weekend or heading home, and it was a bit of a while to get home, but it was a pleasant drive. We got home in the light, which is what.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, at least it was still light out. So yeah.
Great. Well, I hope you enjoyed our recap of the New York Sheep and Wool Festival 2025 and all of our activities. I hope we gave you some good ideas for next year or upcoming years. As you think about attending these festivals or
and if you ever are thinking of attending, definitely let us know. And if you can stop into Yarnia before or after. It was funny. We had a few groups on Monday that stopped post the festival, but it also was a day without school in Montclair.
Oh, right.
Schools were closed for Diwali, and we were hopping. It was really busy. Yeah. So, yeah.
Awesome.
So,
we'll see you all next week for a regular episode of Chronicles of Yarnia. Be sure to like and subscribe down below so you'll be notified for when we put up new podcasts. Like I said, every 2 weeks on Saturdays around 10:00 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. And also, next week we'll be giving away the Wool and Affair swag bag as our prize for that episode. So do not miss it.
Be sure to tune in. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.